So this is going to be... Well, this is going to be the last part for a little while, because this is actually the part where we're basically going to get the biggest jump in power until the end game. As weird as that sounds. Because yeah, I mean right now, we're basically just a bunch of level 1s with a few maxed out skills. There really isn't too much we can do. However, basically all of our options can potentially unlock after this fight. So let's do this thing. So this is going to be Tynmouth Vice. Unfortunately last time we ended up losing not Aracel, so Vale has now taken over in her place, comes in with all her ranks. He doesn't have any of her boosted stats, but, well, that's okay. For now, it's the ranks that matter. Actually, wait, this isn't Tynmouth Vice. What am I talking about? We don't fight Vice until later. Yeah, this is Winnoa. Yeah, screw it. You know what? Actually, I think we're going to go for the Gatalio kill here. You know what? Yeah. I can't believe I was going on and on about the Vice fight when this is friggin' Gatalio. Yeah, no, this is a totally different situation. That Gatalio is danger! I love that line, it's so goofy. It's so out of nowhere. He is the danger! But alright. So this one, yeah, it's not gonna be too much of a thing. Basically, their only form of attack, aside from the archers, is gonna be their shots. So the shots, well, I'm curious, because this is going to be the first time that I've ever done this at level 1, so... well, I guess we'll see if they're actually threatening to a level 1. Basically, the reason that shots sucked, if you ever wondered, since they had, they had a big AoE boom and everything seemed like they should be alright with them, they're basically flat, somewhat scaling damage, I guess? From what I understand, they, really kinda sorta scaled off of, I think they scaled off of Mind very lightly, but for the most part they were just flat damage that didn't really scale off any... Well, I'm trying to remember which version it was, because I know the One Vision version completely doesn't scale, but it doesn't scale like a sliding scale like everything else. It scales off of level now. So I believe, yeah, actually no. Yeah, I'm fairly certain the original was actually, it just didn't scale whatsoever, it was just flat damage. So yeah, they were somewhat okay in the early game, and then completely worthless everywhere else. So if they're still doing the, 50 or so damage here, it's gonna be pretty disappointing. But we'll see. We'll see what we got. Putting Venom on everybody. I actually didn't originally consider using this. It's pretty expensive to do, but, yeah, having a stun buff on absolutely everybody and just using that as the first attack wave is pretty dang solid. I feel like down the road we'll be able to use that in a little bit of a more effective manner, but for the time being, it's okay. Now, we can't really do much to stop Gatalio yet, but this would be a pretty solid chance to see what we potentially can do later down the line, because I believe he spawns in at level 30 or so. What is he? 16. Okay, never mind. Exactly almost less than half the number I was talking about, but... so either way, he's supposed to be really, really overpowered. He's supposed to be there as your guy that you're not supposed to be able to go fight, and you actually get a unique title for fighting him here. And then he doesn't show up later in the game. He basically gets replaced by another Dark Knight commander if you, or other Terra Knight commander if you end up beating him here. Which I think the last couple times I let him leave. But either way. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to go for the KO. It should take 3 Death Whales. The thing is, with Anatomy, it should take 1 or 2. But yeah, we don't really have any of that yet. We'll get good damage later. We're not supposed to have good damage, like you may have noticed. Remember what I was talking about, wait. Ristry Cat Askew? That's showing up as just text, I'm not actually sure what that's supposed to be. Actually, wait. Actually, if I go here... No. On this menu, it also shows as text. Dang it! Why is it text? But yeah, even when it came to... even when it came to the damage scaling finishers, this is one of the reasons that I go for accuracy scaling ones. As we saw last time, yeah, that doesn't even matter anymore. I'm like, oh, you mean that 1 extra damage off your attack? Oh, I hope you mean 0.3 per point instead of 1. Because what was it, 80 TP made a difference of 5 health? Yeah, it was pretty intensely awful. Alright, can you make this shot? Yes. Alright, so these guys we can just overpower. I mean, they're basic clerics. Honestly, they're not a threat on the worst of days. Which is fine, because we can use these guys to build up meter, essentially. And then if we do that, then we have an opportunity to pull this off. Alright, no idea how you can make that shot, but that'll work. That'll work just fine and dandy-like. Should probably double-check if, Mr. Beeflord here can actually be stunned. Yeah, he can be stunned. We've basically got no chance to hit him, but that's okay, we'll figure it out. Alright, so we'll have a few rookies just kind of get in his way. If we set them up as a little barricade on the left, then we shouldn't have much of a problem. Anyway, Mr. Cow, how's your day going? I know stuff's been a little bit on the rough side, or a lot on the rough side, depending on how that technically should have been taken. Hope things have improved, or at least show signs of improving. Yeah, they're just gonna knock out 50s with a single shot. That's still not bad. The fact that they have maxed out crossbows, they've got maximum resistance to crossbows, and they're still taking more than half their health is well, it's a good sign for how bad that would be. That probably would be an insta-kill if they weren't ranked out for crossbows. It's actually one of the benefits of running bows and crossbows on everyone right now. Most of the classes that we're going to be using over the course of this run are going to keep those on there, because we can control melee damage, we can't really control range damage. Just going to go for daggers here. Hopefully speed that process along a little bit. Keep them stunned. See, in the hotel, stuff waiting for a friend to arrive to drive us the rest of the way there. Oof. Any signs of stuff improving anytime soon? Any kind of silver linings on the horizon? Kind of remember those days as well. That kind of stuff just really gets to you. Alright, and then one more. There we go, he's gone. I'll be able to heal one, but we're basically getting one down per round. Once we get meters up, and spam everything on Gatalio, see if we can beat him there. And yeah, the one character with 2 less ranks ended up taking 20 extra damage, so yeah, they're getting a lot of extra scaling off it. Because basically it's that flat value that's going up, pretty much going up and scaling off of everything that they've got in place already, so more than likely they're running anatomy, and then on top of that they're getting their full bonus damage off their weapon there. So, just kind of show what I'm talking about real quick for anyone that doesn't know. It's like this one right here will get 12% extra damage if it actually breaks their damage threshold. So whatever damage gets through, it'll end up scaling it up by that much. Meanwhile, this guy's got a dramatically better two-hander. It only gets 5. Yeah, I don't know why they put so much bonus damage on bows and crossbows, but oh well. As much as we need a heal, we're gonna go after this guy. Alright, and then one more round until he's got enough points to do something. Excellent. And we're just gonna form a wall of units along the line here. These are only gonna have 25% chance to hit, but there we go. Guaranteed stun if it hits. So he's blocked off on the left, he'd have to take the middle. Basically, he'd have to carve through all of them. so he can't leave at the moment. This is a terrible idea, by the way. He can absolutely one-shot anybody. Any damage that he takes, he can instantly just absorb somebody's entire health pool like this. So despite being a Terra Knight, despite having almost no casting ability, he can just eat people. So that's fun. I'm gonna go take a little bit of a flank shot to go after this one. Get that stun going. Alright. There we go. Alright. Moment of truth. Do we let him go, or do we let him... It's doable. It's actually doable. Yeah, screw it. We're going for the title. Technically speaking, I probably should have just used that on one of the clerics. Or one of the archers. Oof. Well, funny part is, the shots, they can't actually kill. So, technically speaking, the only ones that can actually do any threatening damage here are going to be the archers. Well, and Gatalio. Now, I think the big question here is going to come down to whether or not he can be bound. Actually, there's probably a couple of options here. Do this one, that's 12 per shot. Crossbows are going to do nothing. Daggers are probably also going to do nothing. Got a turn coming up, don't you? There we go. Alright, so he's going to have a finisher for next round, because they typically build up about 10 TP per round. You are going to go ahead and heal this one. Might as well have Frisk go take a roll of the dice here. Good. Archer stunned. Alright, he might go for the upper path here, so I'm going to block it a little bit differently. So we're going to start plinking him with these. Really low odds to hit, but it's damage. Have Sven Lady take a little bit of a swing there. Not going to take them much time to do it. Drop another Spirit Surge from Steve. Try to get that little bit of plink going. Alright, we got a chance for a charm here, so we can get this one on our side. Right, charm didn't roll. But we did manage to burn away some grass tiles. That's fun. Have her take the high chance crossbow snipe, try to disable their archer over there. We've got most of the tiles that he can travel on disabled. He still has the option for taking the upper route. Eventually we can just box him in. But yeah, so at this point he can just be enveloped. Alright, so it's going to take 1 stone. It's going to take 1 stone per round, basically, to keep this guy here. Alright, it's going to take a few more than that all of a sudden. That's fine, he's still in the tile that he needs to be in. So we've got a few turns. It's okay. There's ways to make this happen. So I'll put strengthen on him. Alright, we'll have her continue pressuring this archer. Let this guy drop a breach. So the reason that obviously the better answer would have probably been to have Venom go take the burst shot onto the archer, kind of go forward a little bit more. The thing is, as soon as I start wrapping up the rest of the fight, the option has to be chosen for whether we're letting him go or kind of leaving him here. And unfortunately, we can't really do a whole lot of that until we know whether or not there's even the option to kill him off in the first place. So with strengthen and breach in place, basically we'll have some sort of answer as to whether or not it's going to be possible. Yeah, more than likely, I'm leaning more and more towards just let him go. It doesn't really make sense to go for it. Alright, there goes Veil. Almost there goes Spent Lady. Okay, so this is gonna be the moment. If we can do more than 30... Nah, even with Breach, even with Strengthen, that only gets damage up to 11, so we'd still be here for quite a while. So yeah, we're just gonna let him go. It's technically possible, it's just not worth it. Like, if we got rid of the archers, that would get rid of their offensive potential. At that point, we'd just have to deal with the clerics, get them removed down one by one, up until we get to the very last one. We would essentially just leave the last one around up until he gets close to the edge. Then we'd finish off the cleric, at which point he'd turn around and want to fight. At which point we'd basically just go for finishers over and over. I'm still really tempted to try it, but... Well, no, because even then it won't be practical, because then we have to remove MP from him constantly, because he's just going to use Drain Health. I mean, we'd have to have everyone's meter ready to go. He can heal himself over 100. Yeah, screw it. We're just gonna let him go. It's possible, but eh. I'd really rather just get this going. So she's on critical, no real sense in trying to get her out at the moment. Chista can be gotten out of kill range though. Oh, by the way, actually, yeah, maybe never mind for the moment. That was a funny story, but it seems out of place right now. All right. Wait. Okay, both archers are not gone. For a second there, I thought both the archers were gone. But there we go. He's gone. Crossbow SMG is go. What a completely busted move with no possible balance issues. Right. Take another swing at this guy. Gonna have to start re-upping stun on everyone. Thankfully they're being nice and dropping a lot of cards. This actually won't be as necessary as you may think coming up pretty soon. Like I was saying, the big power jump is coming up immediately after this because there's two main things that we need to get, and both of them can be found in Farampa. Now, obviously Farampa's got a big old mess of different kinds of stuff that you can get a hold of, but I'm not talking about any of the crafting books. We can't use any of that stuff anyway. And by the way, there you go. There's your proof that these that their shots actually can't kill. They can do AoE damage, but they can't actually kill. They're flat damage. Yeah, they're pretty disappointing, all things considered. Which is kind of a shame. If they ended up scaling up later, like if they went with the way that that Rakes ended up doing one vision there, where they scaled up a level and they did their whole AoE thing, they would have been a pretty solid item. But again, you know, oversights. Like I'm still fairly certain that the whole thing with orbs is that it has to be an oversight. Like, there's no way anybody looks at, like, you can have infinite rocket launcher by the time you get to Chapter 4 and considers that okay. Which, by the way, rest assured, that method is not possible for this run. So I didn't bother mentioning it as something is banned, because it's not even possible. So there we go, he's gonna heal, he's gonna run. He's gonna tell us about how he's looked at our face a whole bunch. Gee, how romantic. Anyway, we'll go ahead and leave it right there. Alright, Evan, are you ready for your first insta-kill? Actually, wow. Huh. His stats are a bit better than I thought. Actually, I think he might have rolled the highest dex we've gotten so far. I'm gonna have to double-check that after the fight. Because I thought we had pretty much maxed out dex before, but he's doing 70s while they were doing 50s. So something must be up there. Just drop a major heal right here. Yes, I probably could have healed 3 if I just went forward a couple tiles. But that's basically exactly what we're gonna do. Gonna get everyone back on their feet, gonna make sure that dude guy's gone, and then we're gonna commence with the slaughter here. By the way, this fight's terrifying in trying to do a one vision solo, because once they rank up, they all have finishers, which aren't super threatening in vanilla. Like, I believe they have rank 3 in their cudgels when you get here, so just give them the first one, so the wrathful blow or whatever it's called, and yeah, it's just basically a holy plus damage scaling finisher, in vanilla, so it can be good if they've got a really high Aug Light, which I believe they come in with like rank 2 or 3 of that. So it's not bad, it's just not anything to write home about either. I mean, they're gonna do damage, it's not really gonna be threatening. But trying to do that in OV, they all come in with that Shackle move, and it's way stronger, and stuff just hurts real bad. So that's an occasion, for sure. I kind of ran into that into the OV solo run. Might have been a little bit of a rough time. Right. Now, Winnoa here is going to be a decent bit stronger. Nope. He just ate Veil. Dang it, Catalio, stop eating people's souls. Now, funny thing is, he is basically going to rest on his laurels and not even bother leveling up until we see him next time. He's really not going to change anything about himself. He's going to have the same weight. As far as I remember, he upgrades his weapon, but he doesn't actually do much more than that. Like, I think he goes from I think he goes up to a Bastard Sword or something like that. But, come to think of it, that would be a downgrade from what he's got. Isn't he running a Claymore right now? He's running a Claymore, so yeah, he probably doesn't even upgrade that. So that's actually one tier above the Bastard Sword. And then one by one they can all go down. See, in last Raven a few days ago, did the Defend Train mission I think most people forgot about. Managed to stop every single missile before they reach the train. Well, good job. Come to think of it, I'm trying to remember the train mission on that one, because that's the one that you said on the that you said in the canyon, isn't it? I never actually paid attention to what you were actually defending in that one, but it would be one where you're sitting on a train. This is like a nighttime mission. You're standing on the right side of the canyon, and if you didn't bring in a sniper rifle, you're screwed. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that one sucks. That one absolutely sucks to do. Yeah, looking forward to seeing more of your runs at some time, man. It's been a while. I mean, I know stuff's been difficult. I guess tech-wise, if I can get a hold of anything for you, do let me know. Not sure what I can provide exactly, but you know, there's occasionally ways. All right. I really should have. Whatever. I'm just gonna let her keep taking training shots here. I really should have Frisk upgrading to that stun move, as everybody gets reduced down to 1 health. Get out of here, Gatalio. Nah. We're actually gonna have Anatomy next time, so no. Never got the chance to try my Elgato. Got a laptop, but no idea how good it is for that stuff. It's hard to tell sometimes. But honestly, you can make an absolute potato work sometimes. No self-insult intended for once. Like for example, the one that I used to use for videos and stuff about what was it? Has it seriously been about a decade now? Like, the one that I used to use forever ago, it was weaker than the one that I consider the weak laptop right now. Thing had almost nothing going for it, and somehow it still worked for videos, so never know. Right, can't charm her, can charm Esdeline over there. Out of curiosity, can this... no. Actually, do you have Double Fang? You don't have Double Fang. Why does nobody have Double Fang? Alright, we're just gonna go for the charm. Yes, I know there's an opportunity to go for a KO here. But I don't want to. I want to roll the dice on the charm, dang it. Dang Dry, Stan. Why are you so dry, Stan? But yeah, as far as doing... Come to think of it, as far as doing Armored Core type stuff, there's actually... If you're using the PSP one, like if you're using the PSP version of Last Raven... Come to think of it, do you have the last PSP version of Last Raven? Because basically, if you're using that one, there's, I forget the name of it right now, there's actually a program that lets you kind of output video from the PSP. Just from the PSP directly. I understand that's what a lot of people use for speedruns and things like that. But basically, you do that, so you basically don't have to use any processing power for that, so all the processing goes straight to actually recording the thing, which, you know, pretty much any computer can record something, it's just a matter of being able to run multiple things at once. So for example, my little laptop here, it's pretty alright in terms of running multiple things at the same time, but if I tried to, like, if you remember the old kind of crappy videos from a couple of years ago for Tactics Ogre there was quite a lot of cases where I tried to run it in cases that it really shouldn't be able to. And it'd be able to hold up video for a few seconds. There was one entire Xenonauts episode that was done entirely on that one, or one of the X Division episodes. But that being said, I could never get it to do that again. I don't actually know why it miraculously worked that one time. But, you know, stuff's weird like that sometimes. Let's see, so someone was actually streaming Last Raven recently and it inspired me to do a bunch of stuff a few days ago. Was it Mr. TBM by chance, or do we actually have some new folks that are potentially doing some stuff? Because I do know that there were quite a few new AC people coming in. Actually, I was kind of surprised to see a guy that I hadn't seen in years, like a couple weeks ago. There was a guy that used to do. I actually used to watch his videos forever ago. Like, we're talking, like, legit forever ago, like 10+ years ago. It was a German spy, and it was basically him and Jeff Major that I used to watch a whole lot of. And yeah, sure enough, like, just out of nowhere, I'm seeing that just click on the little notification that says somebody's playing some Tactics Ogre, and he's going through vanilla here. I'm like, holy crap, he's not only around, but he's playing my favorite thing. Okay, it's a tie at this point. It's a tie between, like, AC3 and this for most played thing. I guess a three-way tie, because technically speaking, I used to play a hell of a lot of New Vegas. I haven't really shown off a lot of it, but I really adore that game too. Alright. And then Etsum does not have a finisher yet. See, it should be after this point, once we regain access to Tynmouth, that we can get the rookies retrained. So once we get access to Tynmouth, we get rookies retrained, we get access to Farampa, which will then allow us to get access to Warlocks, which will then allow us to get access to Golems to pick up Strengthen, Fortify, you know, Counterattack, all of those kinds of things, which will then allow us to consistently go farm one particular map on there for 2 particular items. Hopefully 3 particular items. Because funnily enough, in one of the few cases of actually, like, well, kind of interesting drop design, they have one particular map with one particular type of unit that drops one particular type of item that you never see dropped. So hopefully we're going to get to show that off today. Because that's my goal. My goal is to get to that map and essentially farm it until we have 99 of each of those. Because that will be the big power jump. That'll be the one that basically takes this from we do basically no damage to suddenly we're able to one-shot stuff. That sounds like an exaggeration, but I'm not even kidding. We'll basically, like, once it's done, we're basically not going to have damage issues up until we get up to Palace of the Dead. And even then, there's a plan for that. Let's see, Simont Mentos is the new guy here on Twitch, but he hasn't streamed in a few days. Was he just doing just a normal run of it, or was he doing some kind of special runs? Normal? Okie dokie. First time run? Alright, now we get access to Tidemouth. Now, if we go down here, I believe we should see, yeah, Parampa open to hunting. Who's ready for all the grind? So, don't worry, I'm basically just going to show this off for the moment, but basically we've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish for this particular part. We're going to go ahead and take off some of these side characters here. We can take off Frisk. We just need characters with skills for now. Sven Lady. Take Etsum off. And there we go. We've got 6 that survived that actually have skills on them. Actually, wait. Evan's also got skills. Why am I not using him? I don't know. Anyway, that'll be fine. See, because I don't want to sit here collecting cards all day. Yeah, that method will work, but it's not something I want to do. Now, the cool thing is, this map is going to be scaled all the way down, so suddenly these guys are easier than they were last time. We're just going to let them approach. There's not really a whole lot of reason for me to charge up, so we're going to sit here, essentially keep waiting out our turns, which will allow a TP to build up a little bit faster. I'll let them get close. Essentially just want to be able to do hit and runs here. Because what I need is 6 finishers, so 1 off of each of these characters in order to win this. We don't have any access to flyers for a very long time. Actually, the only access to flyers that we're going to have, and I don't know why I attacked them there when I could perfectly well just attack them here. The only flyers that we're actually going to get access to in the entire game on this run are going to be Angel Knights. So that's going to be a really long way from now. Actually getting access to them is going to be a nightmare. But don't worry, as with everything else, there's a plan for that. I do like setting up my plans. But yeah, it'd be good to see more folks getting into AC. I hope it has a resurgence at some point. Like, it's one of those things that you really would think more folks would have come in after Dark Souls became popular. So I know every time that I find a game that I really, really liked, I always end up going back and looking through their whole catalog and like, oh, you know, where was this design from? Where did they learn? Like, what started what? You know, what's the full history of this thing? I want to know what their, like, design philosophy is and all that kind of thing. It's like diving deep into what they were thinking throughout the entirety of it. And so, like, with AC, I ended up going back, ended up going through Kingsfield, ended up falling in love with Shadow Tower. Was a little bit confused about Echo Knight and stuff like that, but, you know, they've got a whole bunch of really cool stuff back there. Which is weird, because I saw some guys say that Echo Knight was where a lot of their exploration started. Except, I guess they didn't want to go back to the PS1 era for some reason. It's like, go play Shadow Tower and tell me that isn't Dark Souls 2 beta, basically. Like, so many of the mechanics are the same, so many of the ideas are the same. There's a big emphasis on your stuff breaking constantly. It's just fascinating. But, anywho. It's like the level design, too. It's like, sure, it doesn't make sense, but it doesn't really try to. I mean, come to think of it, Mr. Cow, that one PSP chip on there, did I send you Shadow Tower? Because as soon as this quarantine thing allows Amazon stuff to be delivered properly, like, I want to say that adapter I was looking for is out by, like, I think they said it was showing up sometime in May. Something along those lines. But yeah, it should be showing up somewhere around there. But I need to remember to put Shadow Tower and Kingsfield on there if I haven't. Because, man, those things are good! Like, Shadow Tower in particular, it's amazing that it got panned for its whole, like, you basically have to constantly juggle health and equipment constantly. Yes, I know I said constantly a few times there, but basically it has this mechanic where your healing items are really limited, your actual equipment is really limited, but you can't have both. So essentially, the way that it works is you like have your health pool. You have some regen items, but they'll only work up to about half your health. Your equipment takes a beating every time that it gets hit, and essentially, if it breaks, you just can't use it. You have to sacrifice health in order for it to be repaired. So you're basically going to this It's like pig wizard guy, and he's like, okay, I'll take some of your HP in order to go get this item fixed up. And usually, what it comes down to is you're trading one heal for one piece of equipment. Until you find some of those regeneration items, you can sometimes cheese those for some lower tier replacements and stuff like that. But basically, your entire offensive potential relies on this as well, because you might be thinking like, oh man, it's like a fantasy setting, you can do wizardly stuff. Yes and no, because you can do that kind of stuff, but functionally speaking, you get your rings are like a magic gun, more or less. So, like for example, early on, there's an option to save this this demon thing. And you can tell it's a bad idea, but they promise to give you a good item for it. So, you know, you do the thing, and they give you essentially the AC-1 rocket launcher, or a grenade launcher. Let's see, given the just once that one's settled. Okay, sounds like a plan. Then we'll get that new one over to you. Yeah, I'm still waiting for the new adapter to arrive. The stuff's obviously a little bit behind with the worldwide fun times right now. And again, don't forget your daily bleach injection. So eventually, and I hope there's a chance for stuff to settle down for you, man. I mean, went through something like that as a kid. It sucks. It's you just can't really get a moment's mental rest there. It sucks. You know, it doesn't really do wonders for your mental state. We're gonna get rid of the wizard. Auto fire on the wizard. Go Vietnam the wizard. I'm actually starting to run a little bit low on mend leaves here. Should have restocked on these before coming out here. So the cool part is about this grind that's coming up. Like, I don't really plan to do the full grind of it right now. I'm gonna redo these fights off screen later. They're not really gonna be much of a big deal. We're just gonna do as much as the resources allow for the most part. But basically, the idea is that there's only 2 fights in the game that you can actually get food item drops. So for anyone familiar, the way food items work in this, you normally have to go hunt a monster, you capture them, you sell them to the store, and then they're butchered for meats. And so you get 1 meat item for every time that you do this. Those meat items will give you a really, really small but permanent increase to 2 stats. So for example, for vitality and strength, you have your dragon steaks. You've got braised tears for dex and agility, and you've got mind and resistance, or is it int and mind? Some of the mind stats that come from the mollusk. Now, 2 of these can actually drop on one particular fight here, because I don't have access to any recruitment skills. That would be the obvious answer, to just go and get a bunch of recruitment skills and go, farm up, go to the dragon map here, knock them all to low health, start farming dragons and whatever else, but we can't do that. Simply put, we don't have the means to do it. So, seeing as we don't have access to those skills, instead we get to farm the Terra Knights on that map. So Taco Bell was giving away a free taco yesterday, but pickup only, and we have no vehicles, so we couldn't get one even though it's only 3 miles away. Nah, that sucks. I mean, on the plus side, you saved yourself about $3 in toilet paper for actually going to Taco Bell, but, plus, by the way, for what it's worth, the giveaways were for the spicy taco ones, and despite making fun of Taco Bell, I actually go there because it's like they've got some really cheap and filling burritos, and it's on the way to my work. So I was going there the other day, and every time that I've gone and asked them about it, they've been sold out. Or / they already gave them all away. So there's a very likely possibility it just wouldn't have been there to begin with. I'm not really sure why I took a shot on that guy. Really shouldn't have. Oof. Let's see. They were offering a spicier nacho one? Yeah, it's them ones. On a bit of a side note, I was telling this story yesterday, but had a bizarre side adventure involving cows the other day. Was playing against my brother on Age of Empires, and kind of wound up in this long stalemate. But in the process of it, I managed to sneak in and steal one of his cows. So, seeing as I didn't really need cows as a food source anymore, just basically gave the cow his own little lakeside cottage, Gave him a little town to manage, gave him his castle, at which point he kept sending raiding parties to try to free his cow. That was good times. See, why would it be pickup only during times this bizarre? It's only because they want to give them away. Them suckers don't have a very long shelf life, so they can get some public sentiment by, well, essentially by just giving away the stuff that wouldn't last too long. So, you know, decent little fit there. Same reason why a lot of hospital shows ended up giving away a lot of their equipment for their show and everything. Because technically speaking, you know, they could, it would be easy to replace later, and it makes them look real good right now. So, nice little cost analysis there. Double kill. But yeah, crossbows are mighty dandy. Plop. It's safer not to have people come by? That it would. That it would, and their employees have complained about it. But that doesn't generate any public sentiment. I mean, McDonald's is giving away free food every day to people. Though I'm fairly certain in their case, since they're actually giving away stuff they'd normally be able to sell no problem, I'm fairly certain that one's just more a matter of one-upsmanship. I mean, hopefully none of y'all are in Texas right now. We'll say that much. Because I'm seriously worried for the people over there right now. The whole political nonsense, they decided to go ahead and open it. Yes, they were on the lower end, but still, it would suck to see everything get all completely reset, because, you know, somebody wanted to look good for the toddler. We'll see. I don't know, I'm really ready for that whole situation to be completely done and over with. More so than even the sickness itself. As scary as the sickness is, like, the whole feeling of being on edge, that at any point stuff can go horribly wrong for the dumbest possible reasons, it doesn't feel good. Say more about McDonald's free food? That's even closer. You gotta be working in medical for that. That's for essential workers only. Unfortunately. Well, I mean, fortunately and unfortunately. Fortunately, if you happen to go there. Like, my wife works at the hospital, she tests folks at the moment. Funnily enough, actually made the news yesterday. Actually, she's made the news a couple times recently. But, anywho, but so yeah, so basically for having a badge and stuff like that, they'll give you free food every day. I think they're limited to once per mealtime or something. But she usually uses it to get the kiddos those chicken nuggets they love. It's one of those things of like, you know, you probably shouldn't get them chicken nuggets, but man, you really want to get the kids the chicken nuggets. I'm gonna take a quick cut with cheese stick. Sven take a quick cut, and then that should allow Soldier Mans to finish it off. So this actually came up the other day. In terms of how One Vision handles Griffins as opposed to how Vanilla handles Griffins. So as you can see here, the speed for the Vanilla Griffins is a little bit faster than most units. Like they basically got really cheap movement, and they've got good recovery time, but even still, the entire team still gets to move. The One Vision Griffin basically would have been able to move, attack, and then would have been able to move again before these last three units. So more than likely, they're able to get a second attack off and just run away before you can get to them. Unfortunately, due to the recent armor rework, they wound up getting nerfed into the ground pretty hard for now. Probably within the next patch, it's going to be completely redone. Let's see, is it delivery? We got an extra fry yesterday, stale-ish, but still. Yeah, they've been giving away a lot of stale fries. Not going to complain, I mean, them suckers are still good. I know it's trash food, but dang it, sometimes you gotta love your trash food. But yeah, no, I have to say, working in retail has sucked during this. I forget if I told this story yet, but like the other day was working at the selling car parts and all that, and just this guy comes in, you know, tell him about the whole policy. They have to wear a mask now and everything. Like, no man, that's stupid. Why are you talking stupid? You just shut your stupid mouth and just stay behind your counter. And he just starts running around the entire store without anything. So I try to get the manager over. He's busy doing something else and doesn't want to come over, so this guy's just going around everywhere. Finally, another person from the team shows up, and suddenly, you know, he's getting two people telling him to leave. People in line are telling him to leave. Like, an entire store of people is just pissed off at the guy. Finally, he just runs up and boots the door open and finally takes off, but it's just... It's so unnecessary. Just put something over your face. We're not super picky. I mean, the policy just dropped, so people are generally okay with just pulling your shirt over your face. But, you know. So you like the guide? Yes. Yes, I did. So yeah, that thing is a hell of a lot easier to read than the one from before. You're talking about the Deep Dungeon Guide, right? The Deep Hole Guide. But yeah. Which, by the way, Mr. Cow, I'll send you a new version of Cerebro mod as soon as that thing arrives as well. The last one had it on there. Unfortunately, yeah. Stuff occurred. But the next one will have it too, dang it. It'll have the new version. But yeah, that thing is way, way, way easier to read. Not even a comparison. Cerebro, why is your attack so low? Why are your stats no good? Yeah, you know what? Vale actually came in with higher dex. Wow. These guys have been collecting dex cards for ages. Vale just comes in with that same 60 dex everyone else has. He's got the second highest dex on the team right now. Never even trained. Freaking One Punch Man of level 1 archers over here. So you need to put out an update soon, fix some minor bugs. Fantastic. By the way, speaking of stuff that's FFT related, for anyone that was looking at Velseal, it looks like it's actually getting a full-blown update alongside, like an update to a bunch of bug fixes and UI changes and stuff like that. So hopefully that'll mean that that you can use the auto crossbow with One for All properly. But either way, just kind of throwing that out there before I forget. Alright, Flamin' Blast. We can't get a free pet archer out of that. I can go for Nesta. That would, you know what? That would get her Berserk out of the way. We keep needing to line people up. Come on, let this charm roll. Oh, come on. Rude. Alright, Sven Lady. Surely you can do something here. No, apparently you can't. Try to get everybody somewhat spaced out here. Alright, if I go here, that guarantees a vertical berserk. Cheesestick probably wouldn't survive that, so we're gonna go for a long-range heal. Do the heals. But yeah, so the goal for this stream is basically to get to the end of the right side of Rampa. See, the funny part is, they wanted to prevent people from getting super overpowered things. Unfortunately, there's nothing about being level 1 that would be considered overpowered, so they never really bothered to, you know, do anything for that. So the fact that you can get food items, not really too much of a thing. Like, in vanilla, you could have just switched classes multiple times, and you could have just done this crap without food items. This is kind of like a backup plan area, for, you know, in case you've already maxed out all your classes, you need food items, but you really don't feel like recruiting them for some reason, even though it's a way faster way of doing it. So the first path that unlocks, like, Rampa essentially just goes in a bunch of winding paths. So the first one... Whew, okay, that was close. The first one that unlocks is the entirety of the path going to the right and down, which unlocks Swordmasters. If you can get Swordmasters early, you can get Rogues early, you can get Ninjas early, which is the cool part of the class mark system. Like, I myself have also derided the whole class mark system as opposed to just changing classes a bunch. I feel like Felseal definitely did it better, but you know, in terms of an initial idea for it, it really is not that bad. You do get a bunch of cases where you can get classes early, you can do some interesting optimizations and stuff like that. Yes, it's super annoying when you have a unique class and you can't really use it, but again, that's where Felseal did it better. So just like, oh man, I'm sorry, all your endgame characters just suddenly drop Lord marks. Now, do you actually have the requirement to make somebody a Lord instead of just the class mark? And yeah. Actually, speaking of, Mr. Cow, you might, can you send me your, actually, can you go to Can You Run It on that laptop? See if you can run Felseal. It's Arnold, except now he's paste. Because hell, I can't do much, but I do know that's coming up for sale pretty soon. And I do know you'd love the hell out of that game. And hell, it's supporting the Felseal devs, and quite frankly, they deserve all the support they can get. I really, really hope. I haven't sent it to them yet. I've been thinking how to word a request for them to please do Tactics Ogre next, because they did FFT the most justice anyone's ever done it. Like, aside from Cerebro here, like in terms of taking the mechanics and just taking it up to 11 while still making it fun. But yeah, no, that mess is amazingly good. Hi there, Evan. Long time no see. How goes? How goes the laser Viking, apparently? Alright, go for the finisher. Death Whale. Auto shot. See, right now it's good. Once we get into the end game, we get to the point where that sucker starts missing all the time. It's gonna be frustrating after it's been good for so long. Is that a cow, a Lamanite? Hang on. Holy crap, you're not even kidding. Yeah, that's... I couldn't figure out what that thing was. Wait, actually, come to think of it, is that like a Shining Force character? I feel like that would be a Shining Force character. Of course, you know, I can't really make fun of Shining Force considering we're playing a series that officially has the Cerberus pug, so... Also, I didn't really mean to do that. Acid Rain won't do it, Spirit Surge will. So yeah, scrolls are going to be very expensive, but in some cases it'll get around some defenses that we might have a difficult time with otherwise. Because we're literally getting about maybe 10% of our normal melee damage right now. Like, it can only scale down so far, because it's scaling a final derived amount. But still. And you can see the difference. Vale does not have the right skill equipped right now. I don't believe he has bows on him. Or he might only have rank 3. And he'll just get one-shot by a bow. He also showed up on your stream earlier this week, and then my power went off. Oh, crap. That's what happened. Okay, I was wondering why it just randomly disappeared. Just remember a point where he just, like, showed up, said one thing, and then just poof. Anyway, it's all back on online now. Getting random power outages over there. So yeah, to get everybody up to speed, basically what we're working on right now is the second of 3 major power climbs over the course of this run. So the first one was getting a hold of a lot of ranks. That's all well and good. Now we got a few ranks. Now, I actually rerouted this since the last time that we were looking at it, because essentially at this point we're able to pick up everything that we need in order to in order to become a decent bit better. So yeah, the weapon skills will only get us so far. We get a little bit of a tiny bit of attack, a decent bit of defense. Let's see. So we get a lot of power just since we're basically in the country. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, hopefully they're not too severe. Hopefully it won't be too severe. But yeah, so general routing right now, what we're trying to do is get up to the right side of the rampa, just kind of show what it is that drops the food items that we need. That'll give a nice basic increase for now, and then on top of that, we're keeping an eye out for any witches or warlocks, essentially just killing them repeatedly. However, there's a plan B for that as well. So we're going to have a boss coming up that is that's a warlock, or a witch rather. And so more or less what we want to do is, backup plan for this one is to pick up a rogue, and essentially get access to steal, which will then allow us to go just pickpocket those the class marks for a witch or warlock as soon as we see one, and or get one from a ghost. But yeah, as soon as we're able to do that, then we'll get access to one of the very few level 1 recruit skills. Since no characters come with recruit, essentially we have to we can only use the ones at level 1. Meaning that there's only 3 classes that can potentially give us a recruit skill. We can get golems off of witches and warlocks. We can get seraphs off of. So basically, we can get fairies, which are, believe it or not, going to be kind of the end game meta. Fairies and angel knights, of all freaking things. But yeah, so they're going to be a thing later. So once we get access to angel knights, we're able to very, very slowly, since you can only carry one ensanguined brute at a time, we'll be able to get access to angel knights, and then after that we'll be able to recruit fairies, which will, further kind of expand what kind of stuff we have access to. And then from there, basically, being able to access fairies will allow for expanding the skill set for the rogues into some of the more interesting debuff skills. And then from there, we'll be able to take that a little bit farther and gain undead from necromancers. So necromancers and liches, whichever we happen to run across first, we'll be able to get master undead from their first level. And essentially allow us to get zombies. We can create zombies before then, so we don't necessarily need them for the zombification process. Because essentially we need to do zombies into ghosts into angel knights to get access to flyers. But either way, it's going to be the only time that anyone will ever legitimately want to use that mechanic. So yeah, gonna be a bit of a pain, especially considering we basically have to go through Palace of the Dead multiple times. We have to go through. Yeah, I think you can only get one of the books to turn somebody from a ghost or into a ghost. So this fight's gonna be a little bit of a pain. Again, we don't have warlocks or anything, so we don't have access to strengthen, we don't have access to fortify, we don't have access to resistance, and we don't have access to counter hit. That would be entirely off of characters we'd have to recruit from the story, which we don't really have a whole lot of yet. In fact, there was only one that we would have been able to get so far, and he is very, very dead at the moment. So there's that. On top of that, I kind of managed to do this entire map completely wrong. Oh well. We'll figure it out. But yeah, so like I said, my goal this run, just to show off the food map, just to show that we can get there. Essentially show that we can pick up those stat boosting items, and then from there, I think I know where we can pick up a warlock. I'm fairly certain we can get access to the Gangwa Headwater. Fairly certain. That might actually be unlocked at the next part. But yeah, Headwater is the earliest map that I know of that you can pick up an advanced caster. I can have him do a bit of a heal and run here, so then he'll be able to boost himself up later. / insta-kill something. Thank you for rolling 50%. Please miss. Oh, you suck. Alright. And yeah, I'm really not sure why they decided to give weapon skills resistances to themselves, but then they decided to split the magic resistances into 2 different skills. Because it's not like they couldn't mechanically handle it. I mean, that's basically what the One Vision mod did. Just slapped them into one thing. But then, yeah, for some reason, for elemental resistances, they decided that you needed to have an entire second skill out of your skill slots, which, I mean, it's never going to be worth it. Unless you know specifically you're going against a certain boss, there's just no reason to keep a passive like that around. I mean, it's taking a slot that you can go use for something way more useful. Alright, Mr. Cerebro, you go ahead and have yourself an awesome one. And, yeah, we'll see you when we see you. And yeah, Monster Run later this week. Come on, miss. No miss. Their dying skill improved. But no, that would be hammers going up. Unfortunately, that also means we lose out on a revive turn here. But we've got the other 2 almost ready to go start laying down some punishment here. For the finishers coming up, the priority I'm seeing here, we gotta get rid of the caster first. There goes Sven Lady, unfortunately. I'm not even sure I can revive them. We might just retreat out of this one and try again. Unfortunately, yeah, we're definitely burning through a lot of items here. Should have just taken upper route with everybody. Actually, another thing to remember to keep in mind is I need to get more Savage Horns. I mean, you can see how good this rain is right now. They'd have a 100% chance to hit. Instead, they, well, don't. All right, we'll see what the situation is after the next couple rounds. First off, if he does a Flaming Blast here, yeah, I would go for the Cleric if they had the means of reviving them in this one, but they don't. Come on, roll the Charm. If this rolls Charm, we can certainly keep rolling forward, because then they'll actually get some damage off for us. See, that's how much damage they should be doing right now. Come on, go stand next to him. He's gonna take a Mighty, that's gonna be a kill. Right, if he goes here, he can get his next turn right before the healer. Which could potentially open up an interesting option for Brimstone Hail there. Also, sorry for hitting the thing. I keep hitting the mic. I don't know why I keep doing that. We got Felicia 2 up. Get him out of the way. Fantastic. Alright. Now, not a kill, not a kill. I feel like that's probably the best option. That would... Taking out either one of these two would help. But she's currently going down. She's currently the one... Well, she's still doing a lot of damage, too. But this would allow for a quick follow-up. The healer is kind of keeping them going. So if we got them out of the way, there'd be some options there as well. What I'm hoping is Lady on the bottom ends up being able to revive Dude Guy on the top. Hopefully set up a turn for Gordon to warp up there and... Nope. Yeah, no. We're better off retreating this. Yeah. We're gonna back out of it. That's gonna waste some items, but... Better off just retreating at this point. Because we actually have 2 maps to go here. And unfortunately we won't get any kind of passive stat boosters up until we can get those golems. Which this won't help us get. Now that I think about it though... Trying to think what the next step of this fight will actually be. I'd probably just go the Toad route here. Alright, so I know we get back. I know we get ninja marks pretty soon, because that's when we start doing the march north. So we can get both rogues and ninjas from that fight. So we've got a recruiter fight, basically. Trying to remember if they have any witches or warlocks there. Because on the way back from Rhyme, that's when we, on the way back from Rhyme, I know for certain that there's one. There's actually 2 of them. Alright, the more stuns we can throw out here, the better. Hang on, I gotta go check on the puppy real quick. 1 sec. And back to it. So by the way, Mr. Cow, you have, you got access to Steam, right? Yeah, they didn't roll warriors, didn't roll knights. As much as people like to doo-doo on warriors, they're actually a pretty threatening class. I forgot we're weak to spears. Actually, to 2 HKs as well. And funnily enough, despite him turning on preempt, he basically just delayed his turn because his preempts can't even fire. Oh yeah, no, we made it last time. Just barely, with only one guy standing, but we did it. I ended up taking our first casualty, not Aerosol died. But yeah, just barely made it through. And hi again, Fotis. Nice to meet you. Yet again. But yeah, no, right now... And yes, Sparrow, we did make it to Rampa. So yeah, we're basically trying to set up the next big power creep here. So, right now, as you can probably tell, our damage is abysmal. Our defense is non-existent, especially against spears and two-handed katanas, apparently. So yeah, we can barely defend against certain weapon types. Most ranged weapons we have some minor resistance against, but generally speaking, we're phenomenally weak right now. But what we're trying to do is essentially get anatomy on everyone, get strengthen on everyone, get fortify and counter hit on everyone. This is one of those few times where fortify is actually going to be suggested, because honestly, fortify kind of drops off in usefulness except for casters in the original. It's basically one of those ones where it helps you a ton if you need it, and then if you don't, it basically does nothing. Whereas Strengthen is kind of a flat increase to your stats before the damage threshold test. So if you get past damage threshold, you're gonna be doing okay. Or actually, after the threshold, what we're talking about. Anyway, whatever. So what we're trying to do for the new folks that just showed up is, yeah. No, everyone's putting out Paralyzed because we get access to Stunbringer Scrolls. Basically what we're trying to do is gain access to the farthest right side of the Farampa Wildwood. This gives us access to essentially unlimited food items. Because normally you're supposed to go in to hunt animals and poach them in order to get their meats, in order to get stat boosts, and so basically instead, since we can't even get access to those skills, we're going there to essentially get infinite stats. Now, that seems like it would make everybody overpowered, but even at max stats, they'll do maybe 100. But yeah, so the other option would just be using cards, which are slower, but same thing. And food items can't actually cover all stats, but we're going to need essentially about 200 food items to get through the run, of each kind. But that's actually not the end-all be-all. That's not... If that was the only way to do this one, it wouldn't be a fun run. Because we have to get a bunch of other things. We still need to get access to a bunch of skills that they can't technically learn, meaning they have to be poached off of other things, but we can't get access to recruit. But we also don't get a whole lot of recruits in the law route, so basically the way that we're doing it is we're going to be looking for a Witcher Warlock, which will allow for getting Patrol Golem at level 1, which will allow for going over to the Sluice over on the left side of the map, go recruit a bunch of golems, which will then allow for getting some basic stats on everybody, or get some basic scaling stat boosts on everybody, as well as fortify, which should hopefully make them stop dying to absolutely everything, especially, again, any weapon type that we don't have skill for, we're not going to resist whatsoever. So then, picking up that will allow us to have some basic sets of skills. Boosting everybody's stats up will will obviously help a whole bunch. We'll be able to pick up anatomy from the golems, hopefully. They rarely come with anatomy, I believe. The ones at the slowest, I'm not sure. There are some story ones that do come with anatomy. So that will be an extra about 36% scaling on everything that they do. Anatomy is technically one of the most busted skills in the original game, but again, in this case, it's kind of the one thing that's going to allow us to save things, because it provides overall defense against everything. The way that the skills are supposed to work is, is that particular race involved in this calculation? And for all of the other ones, it's just basically a damage boost, and as well as a defensive boost against that particular thing. In the case of anatomy, it also boosts your own defense against all those things, so it's handy. Anyway, just trying to get a turn here where we're not going and spending items. Need to get this guy going. So yeah, that's kind of the basic route for now. It's going to be the big power creep for now. Eventually, everyone's going to become Angel Knights. Eventually, we're going to get Master Undead, and we're going to get Master Undead off of Necromancers. We're going to get Seraph's Pact off of the Angel Knights there. And that'll be the only 3 recruit skills that we'll actually ever be able to get access to. So essentially, getting Rogue Fairies is going to be a big part of the endgame. Getting access to Angel Knights will allow us to have flyers, and getting it's going to be a long road essentially. All right. Massive description for the age is complete. So yeah, everyone on the team is gonna die, essentially. It's weirdly intentional. So now that we got Flaming Blast, we can finally blunt these guys a little bit. Come on, roll the Charm. Unfortunately, he didn't. Hopefully he'll decide to finish off the Berserker. No, he went for Paralytic Wave. That doesn't help at all, man. We've already seen they never want to roll their stun. Miss? Ah, I wish. So yeah, with maxed stats, with most of the ranked abilities, we should be able to get a whole lot of things. That still leaves some stuff that we'll have no access to. Once we get... That being said, once we get up to the point of being able to recruit Undead, I believe there's certain ghosts that come in with Demonology, which will then be a massive help in some circumstances. So... It may still be a long road to go, but there's options. There's ways, there's means, there's opportunities. This is a very interesting one to route out. I cannot mention that enough. This has been way more interesting than I expected it to be. All right. There's probably a good opportunity to go finish off that caster, because we don't want him getting recovered. He's definitely their most threatening unit. Sounds like a long grind. Well, all the grindy stuff I'm just doing off screen. Basically, I'm just going to be sitting doing work, you know, doing editing or whatever else I happen to be needing to do that day. You know, I can just basically leave it auto grinding, set them all to AI, have them go do a particular fight, and then just do it that way. So that's the one for the stats, for anatomy and everything else. For the food items, there's only 3 units that can spawn in at the very edge of this map, which are the 3 Terra Knights. If you basically go 3 maps to the right and 1 map down, the very final one there will have 3 Terra Knights that can spawn. If you just go in with bows and repeatedly snipe the Terra Knights and retreat, that's how you do that one. Alright, how good would a Brimstone here be? Pretty dicey. And how about a Death Whale? Yeah, get her out of the way. I know the odds of a dodge are low, but man, I wish it would roll. I mean, realistically, I don't plan to do the grind for all those food items right now. This is mostly just to show that we can get there. Unfortunately, I did a bit of a dumb. So I was supposed to go pick up a bunch of, well, I was supposed to restock on all my consumables before this, and then just wound up not doing that. So, good job, genius! But, oh well. It's actually fine. He can tank hits pretty well. And so we're gonna use the other two for recovery. Right now I need him for health. Yeah, actually... No, you know what? Nah. We're gonna do the revive with him. Are you next? Yes, you're next. Problem is, I gotta make sure that the last guy is able to let him recover. Because if I move him over here, they don't have ranged attacks. But if I move you over here, you should be able to revive that one. So yeah, no worries about the grind. No worries, I'm not gonna make you guys sit through that. And yeah, I know, I could just go put in cheats to make all that stuff happen right away, but dang it! We're doing this legit. See, one potential idea would then be to combine this entire run, just like go back and edit it all into one thing. Oh, I hate Berserk! Dang it, I hate this skill so dang much right now. This entire run has just been the bane of my existence. It's like you line people up and out of nowhere there's like, here's random Berserk, suddenly everyone's dead now. Yeah, this is vanilla. Wanted to do a vanilla run. Because the level 1 run's kind of like the epitome of what you could potentially pull off in this game. Not to mention, once it's all completed, this would essentially allow for going back and combining it into one actually decently edited video, and then you'll like put it on Matsuno's Twitter. It's like, here you go, it can be beaten at level 1. Can we get another Tactics Ogre now? It would have been difficult in OV. Oh yeah, no, it's nigh impossible in OV, but I might try routing it at some point. I'm healing these guys here to hopefully avoid taking any unnecessary heals later. I'm gonna go over here. These guys probably will waste their turns healing if I attack them, so that's good. Mostly I just need to attack and build up meter right now. Please miss, thank you. Because yeah, 2 HKs and spears, these guys don't have skills for, so they will gladly take every single one of those hits completely. Do a quick dagger cut here. Just force them to heal, build up a little bit of meter, and then hopefully they can get their finishers before anything scary happens. Please miss, thank you. Is what, a Helm Haver on him? No, Nadachi. Okay. Take a heal. Don't move, take a heal. But yeah, with OV, recently with the new armor rework, I'm not doing any runs of it right now, because I'm waiting for that to fully get sorted. Still testing out how the new armor works and stuff like that. So we can do more runs once... hell. Once there's more knowledge on how it all works. Fantastic crit there. That's just a bummer. Yeah, if it starts looking like lives are going to get lost, we're just going to bail. I'm fairly certain without any revives, we actually can't get through the next map. But I want to at least show which place they're supposed to go. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to retreat. let's see here. Yeah, we've got a couple rounds. We got 3 units, I need 4 finishers. If a crit lands on him... there's a low chance, but a technically possible one. He's gonna have... Am I seeing this right? No. They'd be down to their last life, but honestly, that'd still be okay. Because it is winnable at this point. I was thinking I could run up, dagger him, use his finisher on somebody else. I mean, lives lost at this point, if we have access to Farampa at this point, there really shouldn't be too many instances where we need to worry about lives after this whole section. Alright, do I have anything else I could potentially revive here? No reason to think that I would. Take a few extra shots. That's perfectly fine. Has a good soundtrack to grind to? That it does, which is why we speed it up so that it sounds horrible. Alright. How good is Brimstone on these right now? We'd have 1 KO, 1 almost KO. Worth it. Yeah, most of the grind is going to sound like this. Which you may notice a little bit of a drop in quality when doing it that way. Which is why we're going to go ahead and turn that back off right now. That's how you speed up your mind. Alright, Vale is almost going to take an injury here, but I think we'll be able to finish off before then. Yeah, now it sounds normal again. It's like, no, I'm going to preempt everybody. Everyone just shoots her from far away. Boyzoik. She just preempt the dagger. Shot on the back, and then should be one final finisher to let this get done. And there we go. I mean, the only reason for the injuries is because I forgot to pick up the items that I needed to. Alright, so Howling Hills. This is the one that we needed. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go and put everybody onto bows now. Because most of them tend to spawn underneath ya. And the funny part is they each have a chance to drop a different item. Or a different food item. Probably gonna end up memorizing which one of them do what later on, but for the time being we don't really need to. This is not the one with 12 enemies. That one is a place I can't even scroll to right now. This is the one with, I believe, 8 or 9 in there. So actually for this one, I was mistaking it with the other route. The other route that we have to take, you have to do this kind of vertical map situation. You gotta fight through some dragons and all that. Alright, so there's one of them. This guy right here. So all we gotta do, take out that one guy. Let's go ahead and... How does this sound sped up? Not as bad as it could be. So basically all we do is run up, snipe whatever Black Knights are here, retreat, rinse and repeat. Yeah, I've listened to all the soundtracks sped up for quite a while, so it never really bugs me anymore. Yeah, there we go. Same thing for Spirwa. It's looking like 1 damage. We might end up having to go back to crossbows. This guy spawned in with decent armor. But this is why we wanted to have anatomy before coming here. But yeah, we're kind of off screen. What I'm going to do is come back here with just better items and better everything. Also, hopefully he won't spawn with this kind of stuff. And then once we find a witch or wizard, not a witch or wizard, witch or warlock somewhere, all we really got to do is just abuse that. Use that to get a hold of some golems. Use that to get a hold of some actual stats. Pick up anatomy, pick up strengthen. At that point, this guy would be absolutely nothing because we could use the full extent of our actual damage here. But I just want to at least prove that this is the guy that drops them. Road. Double rude. Alright, we're gonna do Dark Weight because that'll reduce his evasion, hopefully, but it didn't. Radiance 2. This time he does no damage. Couple little dagger scratches. Actually, I'm trying to think of why don't I just cast with you? Right. I got a Pelton Gauntlets that time. So basically, he's going to have more or less a 1 in 5 chance to pull this off. So that's why we're going to need anatomy and things like that before we do the full grind. So, if I recall correctly, we can get a Witch Warlock to spawn over here, or... Now, we'll just go ahead and retreat. First of all, we need to go get more items. So, we'll be back there. There's 3 that can spawn. Each of them will have 1 chance to drop a food item. So, I'm just going to be doing that off screen. We're going to run into the recruitment fight up here. I think they actually might have a Witcher Warlock that spawns there. So if that's the case, that's going to be the priority to take out. So, first of all, a little bit of shopping. Let's sell some garbage. I'm going to need my silvers later. I'd probably not that many silvers, but I'm going to need them later. Let's go sell a few of these, sell everything that we can't use, which is almost everything. Can never put on a helmet, can never put on these robes or this armor, because everything is level locked. Alright. I can use all those, that's all well and good. It might seem weird to keep a hold of fists and things like that, don't worry, it'll make sense later. Alright. Sounds good. First order of business. Fully restock on these. Get a few more of these. What else do we need? We've got some accuracy drops in the bank. We don't have to worry about any of that. If you're wondering when these unlock in the store, by the way, for the class marks, that's going to be early Chapter 3 that we're seeing for that. So we're actually getting pretty close to there. Chapter 3 is essentially we get up here. Well, we don't actually get there. We end up getting stopped in Rhyme, at which point we end up circling back here. We gotta fight through, well, we gotta go through some fights over here, and then circle back this way. Then we fight through Almorica, and yeah, once that's done, we get access to what we need to get. Technically speaking, that first Almorica fight will drop what we need, but we can't make any use of it until the beginning of Chapter 3. So, go ahead and do the recruitment fight. See what kind of stuff we end up coming up with. And I get the entire team back in here. Speaking of, I meant to actually recruit another unit as well. I really want to have somebody named Inferno Cobra. I don't know why, it just sounds really cool. Okay. So, let's see what we got here. We got a hell of a lot of fairies. If we kill off the rogue, we get one of the few guaranteed class mark drops, and yeah, no advanced casters here. They're all the way up to 10, so that's not going to be good. We're just going to sit back and build up finishers. No real sense in going after anybody here. We'll get rogue marks later. This guy's weirdly nervous. Chrono Cobra sounds like a name from Red Alert. Oh man, time snakes, just like friggin' time assassins, just weird cobras. Just warp out of nowhere and just bite somebody in the face and disappear. Somebody needs to make that a thing! Alright, so we've got a massive level disadvantage. Again, we're still not running anatomy or strength in. I definitely should have gone neutral. See, Chrono Legionnaires and Riddler 2? Are there? Weirdly enough, haven't played Riddler 2. Love the hell out of Riddler 1, but after Soviet Lab, then you get a Chrono Commander, or Commando. Huh. Makes sense, why not? I mean, you can have war mechs and friggin' laser dolphins, so why not? It's a friggin' Time Lord Soldier Man. Alright, so Steve here with his no skills and no stats probably does 1 to everything. Okay, can still do 7 against Mr. Paul, the rogue over there. If he gets close, because he likes to charge in, I believe he's a dagger rogue, then we'll go ahead and build up meter on him if we get the drop good. R2 is amazing, your favorite? Gonna have to take a look at it at some point then. Yeah, I loved Red Alert 1, specifically the one with all the DLC expansions. Actually, specifically only the one with all the DLC expansions. Simply because I was in it for the random maps. Even though they weren't quite random, but they still had 100 plus, so you'd never remember them, so that worked out pretty nice. It's a shame they don't make good Command & Conquer games anymore, but they do have that remake. They do have the CNC remake coming out. So that's exciting. I'm assuming you're getting that, Mr. Spirwa? Alright, so finishers are going to be our only hope of damage here. Not sure? Okay. Unfortunately, even rank 8 is still only getting us 7 damage. Never played CNC? What? Red Alert is CNC! It's literally just a reskin of CNC. Like, instead of the Allies and Soviets, you just have GDI and Nod, or I think it was Nod. It's the exact same thing. But yeah, it's literally the same thing. Also, wait, right, he doesn't have a bow. Alright, Veil is probably going to be our one hope of damage, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to self-damage him. Build up that meter, see if you can get that death whale going. You're a mechanical cow. A mechanical cow with your own village, I'll remind you. See, it's like RTS plus plus civilization slash anno. Is that the pirate one? I mean, I know. Oh, Northgard. Oh, I heard good things about that. Or rather, I've seen people posting that it was good. I haven't seen it yet. I mean, I have to say one thing that's kind of like an RTS plus Civ combo that I'm kind of disappointed never took off was Rise of Nations. Like, they even gave it a proper... They gave it the whole HD remake treatment and all that. It's just kind of a shame because you don't really see many people playing the games on there anymore. But it's one of those ones that I feel kind of never really got its fair shake because it came out at the same time as AoE 2. So, you know, anything that came out alongside AoE 2, especially considering they did the HD remake right after the HD remake for AoE 2 also. So it's a fantastic game, but it's never going to get its fair shake. It's just... it just isn't. Slow micros are kind of chill. And, again, same thing with Rise of Nations. Kind of like Tactics Ogre. Oh, there's a fair bit of micro in this, to be fair. The entire game is micro, actually, if you think about it. It's so micro that you gotta do everything turn by turn. Oh, didn't get its fair shake in the limelight? Yeah, true. Yeah, you ever played Rise of Nations? It's like, for anyone that hasn't, it's literally like you do the whole Civ thing. You do the Civ thing, you've got all your different tech trees that you go down, your 4 tech trees. Sorry, standing up and stretching my legs for a sec here. Double checking what the kiddos are up to. But yeah, you do all your usual Civ type of stuff. And then, you still have everything in real time, but you've got all of your teams, all of your units operating in teams, essentially. Except for your tanks. You gotta have logistics for your teams in order to be able to actually have them work efficiently and stuff like that. You can have your presidential team that's running around, or whatever kind of leadership you decide to go with. There's a lot of different stuff you can do there. Like, for example, say you're invading somebody, right? And so as soon as you get there, if they manage to establish national borders, essentially your units are going to start taking trickle damage from just being in their territory because they don't have supplies to be there, and the locals won't help them. So you basically need to keep them with supply wagons, which the supply wagons also make your siege stuff work faster. From there, you also, like if you have a despotic king, for example, and you have them leading that army, you just basically put them within range of each other, and all of a sudden they don't even care about their supplies because they'll happily starve because they don't want to piss off their king. Meanwhile, if you have 3 different options to go down different trees for what kind of government you want to go with and stuff like that. There's a lot of Civ in there, but it's just enough that you can kind of throw out what you need and then just kind of keep going. It works really well, and it's a really fun game. It's very smooth. I really love the way that the cities work in that one. Because one of the things that always bugged me about AoE 2 type games is even when they were properly balanced, which I have to say my first foray into that was Empires Done in the Modern World, which is pretty much the definition of poorly balanced. But anyway, I mean, in that case, you were functionally playing as a disease with the way they actually had to play. But yeah, when it came to that one, like instead of actually destroying a city, which you could do, but essentially what you do is you'd lay siege to it with a bunch of siege equipment, actually lower its health to 0, then you got to send in the infantry to secure the place, and then you got to keep hold of it for a few minutes in order to be able to actually have it be established as part of your cities. So it's a cool way that was handled. You got a whole lot of different effect ranges of different stuff going on. If you build like civilian units, they'll just go and do their jobs. If you have a job to be done, they will get on it. Like, you got something that needs building, they will just go over there. As long as they're within the city limits, they'll go do that job. You go build a bunch of mines, build a bunch of lumber camps, build a bunch of farms, they'll be on that mess. You don't gotta tell them to go do it. You can, sure, but like, it's one of the things that AoE 2 actually didn't do up until Definitive Edition. And even then, you basically select a resource for them to go to, they won't just automatically do stuff. Let's see, there's 4 or 5 different win conditions, with only one of them is pure conquest. Same thing with that one. It's like if you establish a world government, or if you end up having enough money to basically just buy out everybody, or you end up causing Armageddon, or literally one of the endings you can get is nuclear Armageddon. It's kind of funny like that. But yeah, it's definitely curious about Northgard, though. I'm gonna have to put that on the ever-growing list of stuff to go take a look at some point. Alright, we're gonna pull a bit of a ballsy move here, because if this... Come on, crit! No crit. He needs 2 turns to charge up now. I was gonna say, if that crit, he could have a finisher by next round. But that, unfortunately, will not happen. Use more of our turn-buying rocks. There we are. Get everybody back up on their feet, take one more hit. And basic swords are doing a pretty hefty number right now. As all our stats just keep dropping and dropping and dropping. Like, if I can get them to 140, that's probably alright. And I just screwed things up. Alright, here's hoping if I move her here, perfect, okay. I was gonna say, if she goes around to hit Vale, then we're in trouble, but if I put her to stop her from going to Vale from the front, then she probably would have attacked from the side. Simply because it would have taken more tiles to go to the side, but if she prioritized it, then suddenly that would be a more tempting option. The AI can be weird in how it targets sometimes. Alright, what do we want to do here? Because an AoE heal wouldn't be a terrible idea. So once we get past this fight, we have one more option that's available as well, as we should have a new store unlock, which I believe gives us access to poison. So poison debuffs, we can't land worth a crap. We've got 0 accuracy with any debuff whatsoever, unless it's attached to weapons. Oh crap, he did it. He did the thing. Okay, we're still gonna try, but this is effectively unwinnable without that finisher. Like, the other finishers can land, but we're gonna need about 2 or 3, and nobody's standing on their feet long enough for that to happen. Because I still have them using short bows. And eventually they'll probably take a heal as well. Yeah, there goes our one hope of a finisher as well, or one other hope of a finisher. Alright, thank you for the follow there, Wheatkey89. Appreciate it. Alright, who else? Do you have a finisher ready to go? No. Need more turn buying rocks. But yeah, at this point, with our stats, even with everything maxed out, he can just decide that we don't have a turn anymore. Yeah, that'll only do 23. That'll do 12. Double Fang would do 7. Wow. This guy's got stats. So, our best bet, weirdly enough, is probably going to be her. Or even this guy. This is one of the warrior units, anyway. So all accuracy, basically we're going to get entirely accuracy scaling finishers when it comes to bows. If we come back with crossbows, this should be as simple as just waiting for one bar to fill. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and actually equip everyone properly. So part of the reason for the loss there is, yeah, everyone's still using bows because of the Dark Knight thing. I need to go to Tynemouth, essentially get them all finished ranking up to rank 8. Most of them are running 6 right now, which just isn't going to fly anymore. From there, well, we're very, very close to having access to Witcher Warlock. Which doesn't necessarily mean that we can do anything this turn. I already mentioned that before, but essentially we need access to both Farampa as well as over here, because we need the aqueduct. Now, thinking about Law Route, Rhyme, we're gonna have some grind to do before that one. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to off-screen everything up until then. We're not going to progress in the story any. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeatedly check those maps in Farampa there. Because I think there is one of them that you can get a witch to spawn, and essentially just got to keep farming them until they drop those class marks. So we'll do that. So essentially, yeah, well, that won't help either, because we still can't get access to strengthen our anatomy here. So all we're going to be able to do is get rank ups. Once we get everything ranked up, we might be able to get base stats up a little bit. If we can get base stats enough to start doing decent damage to the Terra Knights in there, then we might be able to do something. But the more that I look at it, the more that I know I definitely shouldn't have gone Law Route. Should have just stuck to neutral. Because I was specifically going for all those recruits, and all of them are very, very backloaded. For some reason I thought that you got Air Cell in the early route too, which doesn't make any sense because you get her after the Vices fight. So what we're going to do, we're going to sit back here, we're going to sit in a line, or sit in a blob for now. They're going to try to approach, we're going to run backwards a little bit. Their leader is going to have higher movement than everybody else. So the idea is to hopefully have a couple finishers ready to go by the time they land. They're probably going to target Kashua. That's good. We go put them up like this. And so they'll just continue gravitating this way. And if we have multiple finishers, we see how many that we need to drop on Gousin, and see if we have enough to be able to take out the rogue. If we're able to take out the rogue, that gives us access to some other class marks too. That could potentially give us access to some other things that we wouldn't otherwise be able to get. I'd have to go check the steel tables, see if there's any way to get class marks that we can't get otherwise. But this is fun. I love when you gotta do this kind of stuff for runs. Like, grinding sucks, but when you gotta just go squeeze water from a stone essentially to even do damage. It depends on the game, that's for sure. It definitely depends on the game. Like, in something like FFT, where you don't have very many actions available to you, it becomes really, really frustrating to do it that way. Typically solo runs are going to be more fun in that case because you can just make one really overpowered unit. But when you have something like this, it's a very different story. The more that I think about it, though, in One Vision, there's actually one particular ability that would make this a lot easier to do. I don't think you get it at level 1, though, so that's part of the problem. So I was just thinking, if you have access to Electrify, essentially just build up TP repeatedly. Though that being said, you do get Recruit at level 1, I believe. So that means you would be able to get access to Blood Price. Alright, we're gonna have to cross this river. But yeah, just the fact that you get level 1 recruit in that one simplifies matters so much. I mean, there's no passive skills, so you don't have to worry about that. In fact, let me check something, because I think Gousin has Fortify. That might be why we can't get through. Now, he's got Anatomy, so that's going to be boosting. He's going to get 4 General Toughness against everyone here. But yeah, because of the fact that he's upgraded to Balder, he's got a Vitality. We're gonna have a hard time hitting him. And all we gotta do is stay alive for now. Just a few more turns and we can let it rip. Yeah, the more that I think about it, as far as the Vice fight goes, we might be able to do it the same way, but I believe he's level 12. That would make it a bit of a problem. Because by far we should have had Anatomy by now. In all my testing, it was Anatomy and Strengthen by now, and it was still a challenge. And without them, well, you're seeing what's happening. Just a little more now. Just a little more. 2 heals per attack. That's basically what I need here. Yeah, she's got no access to Fern Bolus. Well, that sucks. That sucks real good, like. Use a Radiance here just to give him something to heal. Or not. Good. Good dodge. Not good, not dodge. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how stupid does this approach look right now? See, with everybody leveled down, we don't have to worry about finishers up until we have our good skills finally. That's a plus side. Alright, Frisk. Got her meter first, but she doesn't have a finisher. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Veil's almost there, so we can go ahead and drop a Strengthen on him. Make sure that he's got enough punch to actually take somebody out. In fact, given that we're already able to recover out of this as we stand, might potentially be worth considering actually just doing this in 2 waves. Just gonna have the first wave of finishers go out, probably take out the Knight, one of the Warriors, and the Rogue. Have the second one maybe go in and sweep up everybody else. This kind of depends entirely on what we need, because we might actually need the entire team on Gousin to beat him. Thankfully they haven't rolled a crit yet. Every crit will be an insta-kill, and there we go. Every time he casts will be an insta-kill as well. So you went for the one with a finisher, you couldn't go for Frisk, could ya? Yep. Summons basically, they're funky in this game. It's either they do 1 damage or they insta-kill something. Alright. How's our Deathway look? Does 60 to him. Would be able to take out the Rogue, but I don't have a clean shot on him. So you can almost take out her. Just shy on the Knight. Can't land you a shot, can it? No. What about from here? Right, I think what we're gonna do, I'm gonna put out some breaches here. Don't really have too many of them to go. I want this guy gone, so I'm gonna go ahead and put him in the back row so he's not getting targeted. Hopefully. Just want to go ahead and throw breaches on everyone. Yeah, once we get Anatomy, summons should probably go down to about 20 damage. Now get out of here with your crits. Yes, a fairy can one-shot our dudes. Okay. Hope they heal too. Yeah, if we get a breach and we get 4 units that are able to attack before their healer, that gives us the opportunity to take out Gousin. Otherwise, it's time to start taking out the grunts. You suck. Okay, thank you. You've had enough turns. Can I have a turn now, please? I'd like to recover some of that, all the damage, please. Alright, neither one of these guys are acting anytime soon. It's gonna have to use him as a death shield for now. Which I don't think Steve's even... Yeah, Steve doesn't even have a finisher, so whatever there. Cerebro, he's got an attack here. Are his stats high enough to... Oh, come on, really? Apparently Cerebro's only got rank 4 somehow. Alright, Sven Lady's got a thing, Felicia 2's got a thing. They're making poleaxes? Nice. Hang on, checking something with Heart Crusher real quick. Okay, this one's just damage. I was trying to remember if the vanilla version had the MP reduction or not. The One Vision version reduces MP. Would have prevented him from doing a summon. Alright, goodbye Felicia 2. Alright, and you couldn't just take a regular shot so I could get a finisher with him? Rude. Alright. On the plus side, though, plus side, there's some possibilities. Okay, so Breach isn't even doing anything anymore. Alright, first one down. That's going to be our guaranteed rogue marks. I might not be able to even pick them up. Their healer's pretty far away. We can focus his attention everywhere. It's probably time to start piling on Gousin. If we can get him blocked off, then he won't approach this way. Should have used Horn of the Savage before. Really? Never mind. I mean, if it's not even going to try to make it rain, fine. Just tried standing up while also stepping on my headphone wire, just jacked my neck up sideways. Okay. So we need to get him close. He's going to be in the target of he's going to be the target of a lot of things, but he's one of the few that can actually take the punishment. He can take 2 hits as opposed to everybody's 1. Would have been nice for that to miss, but you know. You know how it's been. You know what this run's about. Sure love how they're all timing up their turns to perfectly back each other up here. Can I get a move now? Can I get a move, please, sir? Alright, Steve doesn't have any finishers still. He does have items, though. Probably one of the plus sides of constantly sandbagging everyone like this, while they keep repeatedly getting pulled up off the floor. If we do it with weak enough units... Oh, you suck, man! Why you gotta have access to finishers, huh? If he takes a shot there, that hits right there. He still doesn't have the one that actually does damage, but he can potentially use this one, get him down by 20. Steve doesn't have a finisher, which leaves him with a finisher. I mean, it's something, but it's nothing worth doing right now. Surprisingly, Heart Crusher is actually the better option. Alright. Now, in an interesting note, their summons don't actually have a chance to miss. or they rarely have a chance to miss, so it's kind of unusual that their special ability gives them 100% accuracy for it, instead of anything that could actually legitimately help them. Alright. So I don't know if this will actually do anything, but I see an opportunity. More than likely this will do nothing. But if I can do this, put a strengthen on you, we might have a checkmate here. Alright. We'll start off with Spirit Surge. From what I counted, he shouldn't have had the points, so I'm not entirely sure why he doesn't have his finisher yet, but that's okay. I mean, you could at least pretend that that 40% works. Man, let me have turns. And there it goes. Alright, we're gonna put her on fast forward, we're gonna give it one more try. Alright, so here's the plan. Can you not just retreat? Nope. It's a story fight, you're not allowed to retreat. But I got a plan for this one. So we're gonna go stuns again. This time we're essentially gonna lead them all to the middle. We're gonna take 2 turns not moving, and we're gonna lead them to the middle, get them stuck on the opposite side of the river. And then just try to keep them stun locked until meters. For that matter, I actually forgot to check if the poison ones were available. That'd be a lot more useful. Alright, if this doesn't succeed, we're gonna go take a look at the poison options. Also, one sec. Be right back. Alright, so the plan here is relatively simple. We're essentially going to throw out Radiances every now and then. Hopefully, while he's still at relatively high health, they'll view getting rid of the stun as a bigger priority. So that's kind of what we're banking on at this point. Now we're going to try to get everybody along the bank of this river. Yeah, it's a daddy shark, you're right. Here you go. Alright. So as long as we keep everybody stun-locked, we should have a bit more time this time around. And now what I meant to do. Right. Rude. Okay. But yeah, we're essentially just buying time. That's all we really need to do for this one. This is why I was worried about the Vice fight. Alright, 12%. 12% dodge. Really, really lucky there. Glacier 2 is going to go down. Need her revive. Oh wait, right. His stun ran out. Forgot about that. And I'm sure I wasn't the only one that just really, really despised the fact that ninjas even have that stuff. Like, less for its, you know, for the fact that it's usually it's worthless. Like for most people playing it. Since you probably didn't build your ninjas as casters, I mean, they're never going to be a useful ability for the player. But then when it comes to the AI, they basically knew that they were going to use it, so they boosted their stats. So it's just kind of always been that feeling like, I really hate the fact that A, it's kind of a cheat to do it that way, and B, the fact that they try to stick some Naruto crap in here. Didn't like it. Didn't care for it. Or anything about the ninjas for that matter. Mind-boggling that the ninja even has a summon. Like, most of their other tool skills I can understand. Those ones just kind of feel like they want to shove more cultural stuff in there, which, okay, JRPGs, like, shoving their culture down everyone's throat, okay, fine, but when it comes to those in particular, yeah, it's super weird. Because it's supposed to be like, okay, they have this assassination move, you know, it's got a very likely chance to just fail and do nothing if they've got no armor, but if they've got defenses down on somebody, you know, it's gonna be this whole big insta-kill move, and okay, that part I can understand. Why did it have to be, like, magical snake lizards? Right. So we've got a few finishers almost ready to go. We've got him behind our lines, as intended. Why not channel a magical snake lizard for a powerful venom attack? I mean, that too. I mean, you could have, if you wanted to do the whole spirit, you know, one with nature kind of nonsense that they did. Which is funny, because it's not even kind of what they did, but oh well. Anyway, if you wanted to have that on there, okay, fine, all well and good. Just use it for something else. Yeah, we're an animal attack, you're right. Funnily enough, they had that for Golden Sun. Like, you actually had a surprisingly similar ninja class for that one, but it ended up working a lot better, because it was just like, you know, here's this random spirit tiger or something attacking somebody. Like, I think you had a tiger, you had a bamboo forest, which I have to say, I love the animation for the bamboo forest, and the fact that somebody got paid to animate that entire thing, despite the fact that almost nobody would ever see it. This is one of those classes that you had to go out of your way to actually get a hold of. Essentially, every class in that game was just a mix of different elements that you put on somebody, and there was pretty much no reason to ever go for the ninja one, because they were just a suckier version of everything else. Yeah, the base element classes were just stronger in pretty much every capacity. There's very little reason to ever use any of the other classes. But you can make some really jank classes. Like, I think the the ninja, which funnily enough turned into the samurai, I think, all of them were something along the lines of, I think it was like 2 of every element or something like that. See, mostly because you ended up with 2 powerful party members and 2 gimped ones. Depending on your situation, very yes. Or if you were in the Lost Age. I still don't know why it was called the Lost Age, now that I think about it. Anybody know what age was actually lost in that one? Just put the weak ones in the back. Yeah, you just get all your main characters and suddenly you're doing great. Yeah, their healer should be out of range to actually assist him in this particular instance. So if I can go over here, hit him with 2 scrolls, hit him with a finisher, we're done here. What you doing, sneaky kiddo? Why are you being sneaky? Age of Alchemy? I mean, maybe? Alright, he's gonna move, he's probably gonna attack somebody. Probably gonna go for a summon. Reviving her would be a good distraction. Also, thank you, Chip Dave, for the host there. Well, thank you. Okay. I'm gonna go for the scroll. We're just gonna Hail Mary this. Nah, for the shot. That's fine. He went for Steve. Come on, stay back there. Good. So far, so okay. Oh, come on, man! No, don't copy that. One sec. Alright, anywho. Someone perceiving your voice and fast forward too? Same here, weirdly enough. No. What do we want up here? Can you take a shot? Yes. Perfect. Got a crit. Right, he's in position right here to make this work. Sarabo coming in here with a super disappointing Dullbind. He can't really go anywhere. He can do a Shadow Pin. Low chance to hit, but worth a try. Sven Lady's almost got a finisher. Might as well just use an item and not move anywhere. The AI can be real douchey sometimes. Because I have no idea why they attack their shield with their shield there. But it puts us in a really iffy spot. Alright, we already know Strengthen probably won't do very much. We'll just do the Revive. Yeah, until we get Anatomy, Strengthen's just worthless now. So what I need... I need Chi Stick up on her feet. Now, if you ever want a healer not to heal, you basically want to just try and go for a crit there. Because that'll put them in a position where they'll usually heal and try to get to a safer spot. Frickin' Gremlin! Alright, anyway, this is in a perfect position right here. Almost. Very close now, very close. I need some guaranteed. Alright, Heart Crusher, 100%. There we go! Got it! Yeah, that could have gone better for you. Could have gone much better on this end. But anyway, it's done. It's done. We got access to ninjas. Despite taking out the rogue, they ended up re-collecting those. We have no reason to actually use ninjas, by the way. When you say well done, I'm imagining that Earthworm Jim cow thing. I don't know if anyone here has played Earthworm Jim, but the well done cow. Haven't played? Okay, hang on, I gotta play that real quick. Alright, what do we got here? Skrull with the Toad. I think that's the one. Where's that? No, that's been Numb. Numb, Bridle... You know, actually, Bridle wouldn't be a bad choice, too. I'm gonna pick up at least 10 of those. Shadowbind, none of these are gonna be particularly useful. None of these either. You know, Drain Power, that one kind of scales weird. It's one that doesn't really get defended. Hang on, I gotta find that Earthworm Gem Cow. Alright, let's get that up here real quick. The hell? Why is that looking so weird? Alright, if I do that, does it show up? Why doesn't it show up? Ah, hold on, one sec. We figure out what's wrong. Just play the sound? Okay, fine. I don't know if you can even hear that, it's super quiet. But it's a painting of a cow that says well done after every level. You know what? Screw it, I'm just gonna put the link in. Do this the easy way. There we go. Get that out of here. Alright. So yeah, a whole lot of not very useful going on in the store right now. Yeah, it just plays after every level. It's such an amazing game. Surprisingly, the show has it too. They made a show out of Earthworm Jim. Few people watched it, but it was apparently very good. Well done, one might say. Yeah, we're at Boulder Tier, so we unlocked some stuff. I think Store Unlock 3 happened. Contrary to that, in fact, the cow is not well done. Rude. Alright. I'm gonna give Archipolis one time. One attempt. So he's basically gonna tell us, oh wait, dude's nuts, maybe you should go be king now. Sure, why not? That choice basically only changes the Chaos Frame. And then we'd have to go to Anorica. Right, but then as soon as we leave, this happens. I'm not gonna save here yet, because this also temporarily locks us out of Faramba for this fight. Fast forward it is. Well, she lasted a while. So yeah, Aerosol basically just insta-kills everybody is the problem with this one. Again, kind of why you want to have Anatomy. Yeah, supply happens, yada yada. We only have one possible shot to pull this off, by the way. Yeah, what's this? Yeah. There you go. Basically, our only shot is to take hits from all these archers here and hope, just hope that Vice decides to be an idiot and run forward. And, that's kind of about it. Really no ideas beyond that. so this is going to be pure RNG. More than likely, I'm just going to off-screen grind everybody up, see if maybe we can get a hold of a Warlock. If that's the case, I still don't think there's any maps that we can get a hold of any golems yet, so we'd still probably have to roll the dice on this one. But either way, time's about up for today. That's why I have it on fast forward at the moment. But on some occasions, he will run forward. Yeah, the more I'm looking at it, this is possible. And especially if he's going to put himself up there, that makes it possible. So we've already got one bar set up. What I need right now is just to know what kind of damage we can do to him. Alright, her turn's coming up next, so let's throw the Strengthen on there. Hopefully go here to prevent him from getting hit. He still might. Oh, and it would be the one unit that doesn't have a finisher. Okay. This is why we needed finishers on everyone. Alright, so yeah, if we can drag him down, might see some success. And yeah, unfortunately we don't actually want to get Air Cell taken out here. It'd kind of be suboptimal. Yeah, she comes in with a bunch of skills that we're going to want later. Actually, I was planning to have one dedicated archer just using her skills because she'd have a guaranteed hit ability. Bye-bye, Evan. Alright, Hetsum still has a bar, still has no actual use for it though. I need to start remembering that. Keep getting excited, keep thinking that we're finally gonna get to see something, and they're like, no, you can't have anything close to winning, what are you talking about? Alright, we're gonna put Sven Lady up here to prevent him from escaping. Nice thing is their healers are probably not gonna even try to get close here. At least that's about the best place you could have put that, too. Doing pretty alright in terms of who they're prioritizing. Minus the part where they keep critting. And that's the thing with this game. Like, especially in Fast Forward, you can really tell. It's like every time you think, like, oh, look, it looks like things are actually going to be okay for a minute, and then it's like, no! Everybody dies. Alright. Yeah. The one... Seriously, everybody without a finisher gets a finisher. I mean, I'm fairly certain if I just finish grinding them all up to where they need to be, we'd be completely okay here. Oh, piss off. Okay, thank you! Thank you, sir! Thank you for your contribution! Can I move now? God dang, man. When they pile, they pile. Yeah, Vale's the only one that even has a chance to let me demo the frickin' numbers. Alright. Oh! Right. Yeah, he still doesn't have finisher. Does Delbind even scratch him? Yeah, so for comparison, we're going to be doing even less than last time. So, yeah, it's doable. I just need to actually have bars on people. Because the fact that half the team doesn't have finishers is really not helping matters. Alright, so that part's pretty clear. So basically what we've been able to establish is more than likely he's going to be taking 20 per hit, so we're going to be able to do 60, meaning we're going to need to bring in exactly 3 finishers to be able to finish him off. So the answer is pretty clear, basically just off-screen grinding to get crossbows up for the ones that don't have it. So essentially this is what it consists of. So we can get rid of our main people here. Especially keeps throwing me for a loop, because the ones that I think have it don't actually have it. And I realized I've never actually shown this, so let's kind of show the way it works. So especially for things like crossbows, essentially this is all you gotta do. You send them to Vanguard. Specifically, you want to do Vanguard because it'll cause them to all move up together. And all you really do is just kind of leave them doing their thing. They'll be able to overpower almost anything here as long as you have at least 1 or 2 units with a finisher. They'll essentially be able to. They should be able to overpower anything in here. Like once you get those 1 or 2 rank ups, from there it's just basically a shooting gallery. If you see anybody drop a card, you just pick the closest unit, you turn them back to manual, you go pick up that card. It's a pretty simple process. Usually, even if they do get knocked down, like I would say after you have 4 units that actually have a proper finisher, it can properly do damage. At that point, really, you can just leave it on auto grind. You can turn off text boxes. I like to leave them on just so that I can know if anybody takes an injury, but generally speaking, you shouldn't take injuries at this point. So this is going to restock us on items. I'm going to get everybody a little bit of training. It takes quite some time, that's why I usually just leave it running in the background. And yeah, these ones are level 2, so you actually get to do some okay damage here. So yeah, you basically become overpowered for this bit. You get free items, and you just do this over and over and over. You get buff items. Like, that's why I didn't need to buy a lot of the buff items, we just already had them. Oh yeah, and I needed to pick up Inferno Cobra, right, because I wanted to train up several more units. And yeah, so like I said, you get very slight boosts off the cards as well. You get them every now and then. It's not a common drop. Originally, when I was writing this out, I had assumed that it was going to be about 50% of the time. It's closer to like 20, 25-ish. Like, in cases like this, you can usually just retreat early. I mean, if you've got good enough units, you don't even have to worry about the countdown timer. Because I think we'll probably be good enough here to not have to worry about it. Nice thing is, if you give them a dagger, if you have them at least somewhat trained up, they'll usually try to make use of the daggers to try to save themselves a little bit of time. I forgot to sell all my healing items before this, but they'll gladly use up all your healing items doing this, so you generally want to keep all those sold. They'll never use a revive item, though. The AI has no function to do that. Pop, pop, pop. And alright. So anyway, I'll leave it there for now. Just kind of do a whole bunch of grinding to get the team up off screen here. And so yeah, after that, we'll be all ready to go. You know, go get some new stuff done here. See about getting past the Vice. It was quite a bit different than I expected. See if we can get another miracle dex build like Vale. Friggin' 60 dex. How do you even spawn in with that? Like, seriously, they just never roll that high. I mean, this guy's pretty alright. So, thank you guys for stopping by, and yeah, have a fantastic one. Take care.